Hey, good morning, everyone. First of all, I want to open up and just say I have a great amount of respect for Willie Green as a person, as a coach, but I also understand this is a tough business and tough decisions have to be made. Um, we have faith in James Borrego as the interim coach. James has been here for, I think, 3 years now, has sat in the head coaching seat before in the NBA and understands the job. So we have great faith and confidence in James going forward. Um, Listen, at the end of the day, guys, we're all professionals. Um, we all have a responsibility to show up and perform in this business. Um, and that's what we're going to keep doing here. We're going to lean in to establishing who we want to be here. And that's really what this is all about. Taking responsibility, accountability, and not shying away from it. And so that's what we want to do here. And that's really what went into the decision to continue to lean into who we want to be here. And so, with that, guys, I just wanted to kind of make that statement and then open it up to questions from each and every one of you. No problem.
Hey, Joe, one of the things you kind of talked about was that how you want this team to play hard and kind of represent the city. Was it more of a factor of how the team was playing, or was it just strictly, the one loss record?
So, good question. So, Rod, it really wasn't the one loss record as the ultimate determining factor. That was not it. Um, I was very clear from the very beginning. There was no mandate that you have to win a certain amount of games. There wasn't even a mandate that, oh, you have to make the play in or the playoffs. It was, we have to establish who we're going to be here in New Orleans going forward. And I just did not see that happening. And that was more than anything else, right, was the determining factor here.
Okay, and I got one follow up on that.
Yeah.
I think I just went blank on it, but
It'll come back to you.
all right, you can oh, here it is. Yeah, Miss Benson yesterday she talked about how the she thought that this team was built to win now, and after watching 12 games, is that kind of do you like the roster that you've seen, and do you think this team can win now?
I will stand on what I've been saying since I got here, Rod. I'm I'm not judging this on wins and losses right now. I'm judging this on establishing who we're going to be going forward. That was what I said from the beginning. That was the basis for this decision. And so that more than the wins and losses for me right now, Rod, is the number one factor. I did not see us establishing anything in terms of an identity of who we're going to be. That more than anything else is why.
Thanks, Joe.
Okay.
Hey Joe, this is a Will. Now you talked all summer about what type of roster you want to build and what you want it to look like. Now that you're going to be hiring the next coach here, what kind of traits are you looking for in the next head coach for the Pelicans?
So, well, it's really someone that's going to really embrace establishing exactly who we want to be here. Listen, when that becomes the reason that you make a move like this, that also becomes um, the kind of litmus test for the next coach of like, can we build an identity here? And so that's really what I'm going to be looking for, Will, is a coach that's really going to build an identity here, and that's what's going to go into the decision. Obviously, you want someone smart, you want someone who can communicate, you want all of the things. But more than anything else, we have to build an identity here in New Orleans.
Do you have an idea of what you want that identity to be?
Well, I think the coach and you sit down. You don't just make it in a vacuum. That's why you sit, you interview, you talk to coaches, and you collaborate on this. So, um, look, there are some staples to winning, Will. Uh, you got to be tough, resilient. You got to be able to defend. You got to be able to have enough offense. But when you start talking about building identity, that's always collaborative with the coach. You just don't make that decision yourself and then hire a coach and say, here's your identity, go out and do it. Like that, just not how it works.
Hey, Joe, John Sokoloff over here.
Okay.
I know you talked about James, and we've seen what he's done in Charlotte. I think he's led them to their only above 500 season in Charlotte in the last 9 years. Did how much has his, success previously as a head coach kind of factored into you being comfortable making this decision and kind of giving him the keys?
The first time I talked to James about this position that he's in right now was this morning at about 9:15 a.m. You can't do it that way. You can't have so you can't sit in this seat that I'm sitting in and have one foot in and one foot out. Like I'm all in with the head coach and with Willie. I'm all in with him. I wasn't at all, and I can tell you this, at all thinking about what Borrego did in Charlotte. It just it's a recipe of how not to do stuff, and so that wasn't a factor for me because as I said to Willie, man, I'm all in with you, and I told Willie that when I first got here. I told Willie that throughout the whole time that look, I'm always in with you, and so. And I was until we made the decision this morning. And then now it's, I have to be all in to JB and to be fair to him and anybody that sits in that seat, man, you have to be fair to them and be all in with them.
Hey Joe, thanks for doing this. You talk about building identity, and this summer you talked about having Zion as your franchise player and the responsibilities that come with that. Does a change in coaching mean a shift in this philosophy? Are you still committed to that being a part of your identity moving forward?
So I also said that you want to build a team that doesn't have to depend on one player as well. And so I don't want to leave that part out and just carve out about Zion. Uh, that's not going to change with me. Like you don't want to build a team that depends on just one player. And so um, I think what I really emphasize, in getting here is like team. Like I'm a team first guy. Yes, we have an incredible talent in Zion, but that's not how the team is built, and that's not going to be a factor uh, as we go forward. We we're going to continue to be team first. Um, and whoever the next coach is, I'm going to want that coach to believe in the same thing in team first. And so this I don't think the question about Zion uh, will apply to this right here. What you're asking. It's as long as I'm here, it's going to be about team first.
Hey, Joe, this is Fletcher. I have two questions. I'll just ask them at the same time. First,
Yep.
do you have a message for the fans? It seems like apathy is skyrocketing. That I think people feel like it's the same old. Zion's hurt, and in the frustration with Willie. So if there's a message for the fans that are going to see this, and the second thing is I know the NBA can be kind of crazy. Doc Rivers was on the street, and the Bucks hired him in January, and like Chris Finch was an assistant with the Raptors and then the head coach of Minnesota. Is Borrego the head coach for the rest of the year, or could something develop where you find a head coach before then?
Yeah. So in terms of the apathy question, um, I'm not sure what all has gone on before I got here, Fletcher. I don't really know what's happened. Um, I know that we are not the people that have come in with me. We're not status quo people. We're just not. And that's not to say anything about what's happened in the past because I don't really know. I just know our approach is not to be status quo. We look at it, we see it, it's not getting better. Okay, we have to make a move. We can't sit on our hands, and we can't sit here and go, well, it's going to get better one day. Like that's just not the way we're going to approach it. And so, in terms of the apathy, the only thing I could say to the fans and media here in New Orleans is that status quo is never going to be acceptable. It's just not. And I'm matter of fact about it because it's not like I have to think hard about this. It's just who we are. We're not going to operate like that. Just in terms of Borrego, yeah, he's the interim coach here for the rest, for the rest of the season, unless something changes. I don't know what would change, but our plan is to go forward with James. If something was to change in that, Fletcher, that's the unforeseen. I can't sit here and tell you nothing unforeseen could happen. But when I spoke with James this morning, I said to him, I'd like for you to be the interim coach for the rest of the season. So that's as honest and direct as I can answer the question, Fletcher. And really, that's it. Hopefully, he's here for the rest of the season, and we can get things turned around.
Hi, Joe. Maddie Kurth with Fox 8 here. You know, even through this transitional time, more than ever, you've got a lot of eyes on the Pelicans, especially with the team's partnership with the Gulf Coast Sports and Entertainment Network. So, in these next couple games, when fans are tuning in to see this shakeup, what do you anticipate they will see differently? And can you speak to any pressures that the team or anybody on the operation side feels knowing that more people are watching now?
I I could tell you a long story that I had with Aretha Franklin one day, but that's a different story. Uh, but I will say this about this story, and um, Aretha was my neighbor in Detroit, right? And I asked her one time, "What if you went out and there was only a handful of people watching?" And she said, "Joe D, I would give the show of all shows for however many people are watching." I would say the same thing about us. Whether it's a small amount, whether it's a larger amount, doesn't change our approach in how we do business. I don't care if it's 1,000 people or 20,000 people. Our approach is to be all in, to win, dedicated. We're obsessed with this, and so um, more people watching, awesome. But it really doesn't change how we do business here.
I look forward to hearing that full story one day, Coach. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a deep story with Aretha. I have to tell you that one day.
Hi, Mr. Dumars. This is Andrew Wellman with KSLA. I have two questions for you. The first one being, what are you kind of hoping to see from Coach Borrego in terms of his taking over leadership with the Pelicans, whether it be the development of your young guys, Queen and Thiers, or just an improvement on the offensive side of the ball? And then kind of building on Mr. Mackel's question earlier, talking about the fans, a lot of fans have been kind of expressing some kind of a sense of hopelessness. The team doesn't have their first round pick next year in a really great draft class. And, it was a rough start. You're letting go of Coach Green. What would your message of to be the fans who are kind of just looking for something to kind of hope for and look forward to in the future?
I'll answer that. What was your first question again?
What are you kind of hoping to see
Oh, James.
change in the terms of the play from Coach Borrego, whether it be the development of your young players or just an improvement on the offensive side of the ball?
Yeah, I'll go back to what I said earlier. We have to establish who we're going to be. We flat out have to establish who we're going to be, whether that's going to be improved offense, whether it's going to be improved defense. But we have to start establishing an identity here in New Orleans more than anything else. We just can't go out and just go up and down and not have an identity. So I think more than anything else, that would be what I would be looking for us to try to establish here. In terms of I think you're asking about the fans again, and about things going on here. Like, look, I was saying this to Matt Ryan this morning. Like, it's pretty tough to turn it around in 6 months, and so we've been here about 6 7 months, and so this is part of the work. This is part of the heavy lift that takes place. You come in, you know it's going to be a heavy lift, and along the way there are going to be some bumps along the way, but like you can't get like us anyway. I would say operations. You can't get depleted or down or whatever, discouraged when things don't go as planned. And so that's the hard work that we have to do here. That's what we're going to continue to do here. And we know along the way there may be some bumps and some setbacks, but it really doesn't. It doesn't affect you in the sense that you're going to stop doing what you do to make this a great team, a great organization. And so I would just say that to the fans, like we are as committed and obsessed with this as you can possibly be, and we're gonna do the work to turn it around.
Thank you, Mr. Dumars.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Joe, how early do you guys plan on establishing what your list of candidates will be, the interview process and all of that? And will James be one of the candidates you guys interview to potentially remove the interim tag and make him the head coach?
We haven't even discussed that yet. This morning, it's just James is the interim coach, and we haven't even started talking about any kind of candidate list, anything like that. it's a little bit premature right now to even start talking about other candidates right now. Let's like get our footing right now. We just let the coach go this morning. We just named James as the interim coach. Um, we'll have time to get to that, but today is not that day to do that.
I have another question. This is not Mr. Mackle, but Fletcher. Thank you, Andrew, for calling me Mr. Mackle. Uh, just a quick follow-up here. I know that we talked about when you got hired the word mandates. Will there be a mandate to start Queen or play Queen, or does James have kind of full authority to do what he wants to do with the roster, or would you want to see the guys that you drafted to start this rebuild potentially playing more and being out there more?
Fletcher, I had that conversation. James and I sat in my office this morning, and I said to him, I'm going to support whatever you want to do. Like, it's your call. I'm not the coach. I'm never going to be the coach. I never want to be the coach. It's your call, James. So, however you want to go with this, I'm going to support you 100%. So, I made that very clear to him this morning. I'm sure he'll say the same thing when he speaks with you guys. He doesn't have a mandate for me that you have to play this guy or that a minute, nothing, none of that. Do what you want to do. I think it's the only fair way you can evaluate a coach. I don't think you can tell a coach what to do and then evaluate him on whether it works or not. You told him what to do. And so he's got the full authority to do what he wants to do as a head coach.
Hey, Joe, I know you pride yourself in being open and honest, especially with players. Were you able to discuss with players over the summer and, in the early stages of this season, on how the season was going? And did any of that feedback play into your decision to make the coaching change?
No, I've lived long enough to know not to go into those conversations. Listen, when you're a player, let me tell you something. It is so granular with players. I'll tell you what happens. You can get a player to have a great week, and you talk to him, and he is all in on everything, right? Have a tough week the next week, and everything is horrible. So you got to be careful talking to players when it comes to things about the season. You have to sit there and judge. When I talk to players, it's really about here's, I think, where you can get better. Here's what I see happening. Guys will come up to me and ask me, what do you see? I'll have those conversations with them, just about them improving. But the overall, yeah, you really want to stay away from that.
Joe, considering the start and whatnot, you've been very clear on your mentality with the team and all that good stuff. But considering obviously next year and not having the first round pick, is there any level kind of concern following the start due to not having the pick for next season?
Your question is what now? Is there a level of concern?
Yeah.
No, we don't have the pick, so there's no sense of me being concerned about it now. It's done, and no, it really isn't. I mean, I can sit there and have a concern all I want, but we still don't have the pick, and so no, there's not any level of concern. I'm concerned about the guys that we have here. I'm concerned about the guys we drafted and watching them grow and become the players that come. But I'm not sitting here worried about the pick that we don't have.
Hey Joe, it's Brett Martell with AP.
Yep.
Just two real quick ones here. First is, and I know it's tough when you come in new to a situation that's evolving. Could you just reflect on why you thought over the offseason it was the right decision to at least start the season with Willie? And then the second is when you say identity, obviously that's a term that's open to interpretation. And so could you maybe give some examples of why you saw a lack of identity, I guess, in the first 12 games?
First question is why Willie, was it?
Yeah, why during the offseason did you decide that it was the right choice to start the season with Willie?
I'd seen some of the Pelicans when they were fully healthy a few years ago, and it seemed that Willie was doing a good job. I thought it was only fair to give him an opportunity going forward. As I said to Willie when I got here, I was like, Willie, look, I do not have someone else in the wings waiting. You're the guy that I'm committing to do this. I'm all in with you, and let's move forward and try to turn this thing around into something great. And so it was just as simple as he's been here, give him a chance to get a fresh start with me and go forward and build. In terms of the identity, I'll repeat it again. I was looking for a team to compete hard every night. And so we start losing the same way over and over again. And so that's not improvement. And so more so than identity, that was really the one thing that I've talked to the coaching staff about is that, guys, we have to establish that we're going to play hard every night. Before you can become anything in this league, you have to establish that first as a team. And so it was that judgment more than identity, more than the offense, more than the defense, the one-loss record. It's establishing that we are going to be a team that plays hard every night. And that's still what I'm looking for right now. And I had that conversation with James this morning.
Yeah, Joe, obviously Jeremiah and Derek are a huge part of your future. What are your thoughts on just what those guys have looked like early in the season?
Yeah, they looked well. You know, they're growing. You, I watch them play, and what I see is every night I kind of see something new happens for them, and you realize they're growing every night. Look, these guys are what 12 games into their careers, and so I'm pleased with where they are right now. But I also know these guys got a lot more growing to do. But I would be wrong if I sat here and say I wasn't pleased with how they've started off. They've looked well. They look like we thought they were going to look, and hopefully we can really help those guys continue to grow into the players that they're going to be one day.